Are you starting a business and you're wondering how to promote your products? With so many marketing avenues out there, so little time you have in your day, and only a certain amount of capital that you can invest in marketing in the beginning of your business, I know it can be overwhelming to figure out how you want to promote your business. I'm Shivani from Let's Circle Back Games, and in this video series, I'm documenting my business startup process. In the series, I'm going over everything that's happened through Q1 of Let's Circle Back Games, and that takes us through March 2024. And I'm currently on the verge of launching my first product for my company, which is called Let's Circle Back, a corporate storytelling game and prompt deck. This game is a team building card game for consultants. And given that it's launching pretty soon, marketing has definitely been on my mind. I feel like there's a lot to say about marketing and communications, and I don't know if it's just me because this is a business area that I'm particularly interested in, but here we go. I have my laptop here, so let's get started. So the first thing you want to put in your marketing plan is an introduction about your brand. So what I did for this section was I wrote a paragraph-long introduction. Here I say, Let's Circle Back Games creates games targeted towards adults working at consulting/professional services firms. Let's Circle Back Games' first card game, Let's Circle Back, is a deck of icebreaker questions that prompt players to share work-related stories or opinions. Players vote on who provided the best response, and each time a player wins a round, they move up in rank, starting with intern and ending in partner. First player to climb the career ladder to partner wins. All players can enjoy this low competition game because everyone gets to share stories and find common ground with their colleagues and friends. The purpose of this marketing plan is to define the target market for Let's Circle Back and develop an actionable plan to reach customers when Let's Circle Back launches. So that was step one, the introduction. Then in step two, I have the value proposition. So this is a one-sentence summary and snapshot of the brand. This is probably one of the harder things to refine because it's so concise. But here's what I wrote for my value proposition. Let's Circle Back is a consulting-themed team-building card game that empowers you to break down barriers and build up trust with your teams by connecting through storytelling, using prompts any consultant can relate to. Here, I chose to focus more on the game because right now Let's Circle Back Games and Let's Circle Back are one and the same because I only have one product. This is my first product, but depending on the type of brand you have, it might make more sense to fill out all of this in a more general sense about the entire brand rather than about the product like I just did. But in terms of a formula or structure for coming up with the value proposition, I'd go with something like product is a blank that empowers you to blank by blank. So what is the product? What does it empower you to do, or what does it give you? And how does it do that? By blank. Hopefully that makes sense. So Let's Circle Back is a consulting themed card game that explains what is Let's Circle Back, that empowers you to, then I fill in the blank of what does it give to the customer, and that's it empowers you to break down barriers and build up trust with your teams by blank. By how does it do that? By connecting through storytelling, using prompts any consultant can relate to. So the next section is kind of long, so I'll skim through it, but the next section is where I described who are the customers. So at a high level, I say that the game is targeted towards consultants or other people that work in client-serving professions. The game is for adults, anyone can play it, but it's most likely you'd understand it if you're in that target group of consultants. Then I described the ideal customer, and I have a paragraph description. It says the ideal customer is a proactive work leader who wants to engage their consulting team, whether they're a new hire, manager, or an executive. They want to foster a sense of community and connection at work. And you're going to see that a lot of my language in my marketing plan and in the marketing content that I develop really emphasizes community and connection. Then I say they want to understand others and be understood. And this is something that resonated with me to the core, and that's part of the reason, and mainly the reason, that I created my game, is because I wanted to be better understood at work and better understand people at work. So this marketing plan is very core to me and the brand that I developed in my story. I continue the description of the ideal customer by saying they might have their teams play one round of the game or go through one card, or they might play the entirety of the game over a team dinner, work retreat, or happy hour. They likely live in metropolitan cities like Washington, D.C. That's where I'm from, rather the suburbs, but and have high disposable incomes from their consulting careers. And then this was really important. I came up with a couple of adjectives to describe the core customer. And I use those adjectives to also describe the Let's Circle Back Games brand itself. So I said that both the brand, Let's Circle Back Games, and this persona, the proactive work leader, is friendly, open-hearted, clever, witty, self-aware. And this ended up being something I needed later in Q2 when I had to develop the logo, and came up with so many, dozens of logo design ideas, and had to come back ultimately when I was trying to decide between a few different logo options, what logo option best evoked to me friendly, open-hearted, clever, witty, and self-aware. And that's how I ended up with the logo that I ultimately landed on. Still within the who is the customer section, I said a description of how the ideal customer is most likely to be reached, and more about their target market, like approximate age range of the ideal customer and what kind of social media I think that they would be on, which I did later validate through a survey. And then I also noted that I had some other ideal customer groups in mind that could be explored in the future, such as corporate HR and learning and development teams, as well as academia and in certain fields like business. Then I moved on to the competition. I do go into more detail about this in my business plan, but I described very briefly that the card games that are targeted at adults really range in focus from entertainment to personal and relationship development, like Cards Against Humanity or We're Not Really Strangers, things like that. Next, we have differentiators. So here's where I explain that my card game, Let's Circle Back, is pretty unique because I was able to find a gap in the market, in the sense that a lot of games are either games that are for entertainment or relationship and personal development, like I referred to in the competitor section, or they're just straight up a deck of icebreaker questions, which is not a game. It's just individual icebreakers. So what I did was gamify a team building exercise that involves cards and involves icebreaker prompts. So there's icebreaker prompts, yes, but there's an actual sequence of the game and rules and twists and turns, and there's a way to win. So that's why I think that my game is different, and that's what I explained in the differentiator section of the marketing plan. Next, our core messaging. This took me a bit of time to write. You need to make sure that this core messaging means something to you if this is your brand. This is something that I hope to recycle when I'm developing advertisements or my sales page for my games, that sort of thing. The core messaging here that I came up with was, whether you want to collaborate with your team to perform better, commiserate with your colleagues about your professional struggles, or clown around with your work best friends who make you laugh and keep you from losing your mind, Let's Circle Back fuels connection among consultants. Let's Circle Back Games invites you to strengthen team connection in 2 hours or 2 minutes. Find common ground by playing one round as an icebreaker or going all in during team meetings, dinners, and retreats. Give your team a needed break. Validate the daily grind by turning it into a source of laughter and storytelling. Build your brand as a people-centric leader. Whether you're a manager, executive, or a campus hire, be known as the person who builds trust and rallies your team. And I really love this core messaging. It makes me so happy that I was able to, after so much time, I mulled over this for many days, many weeks, talking to my different friends, talking to my mentor, and I was able to distill all the different feelings about the game into basically a paragraph. So that was really great. And I understand that that might change in the future, but this is what I have for now. And then lastly, the marketing channel approach. I gave some detail here, but in summary, I listed that the marketing or channels would be LinkedIn. My game is very much related to my professional career as a business consultant, so LinkedIn seems like a very appropriate channel to use on this. And then also an email list, not just relying on social media to do your advertising and to connect with your shoppers, but also having an email list, because there's a risk with social media, like TikTok might disappear from the US, or your particular account for any of these social medias could get hacked. So you might lose all of your followers that way, even though that sounds like a slim chance. So, but an email list is a good way to have something off of social media where you can still connect with your community. And also YouTube, which I'm on right now, and then Instagram and TikTok. And then other ideas I had at a very high level were to identify social media and LinkedIn influencers to send the game to and invite them to post about my game. So I don't plan on doing paid advertisement at this time, but I at least want to be able to gift the game out to influencers who speak about corporate lifestyle, consulting, team building, that sort of thing, and see if any of them would be interested in speaking about my game. And of course, when you just gift something instead of doing a paid brand partnership with an influencer, it's completely up to them whether or not they actually want to post about the product that you send them. So I accept that risk. And then also another thing I brainstormed in the other was trying to get my story to be picked up by local news outlets here in the DC area, to see if any local newspapers or news channels would want to hear about and let me share my story. I also included some examples of what I wanted to write about on my email list, or types of posts I want to do on LinkedIn, or types of posts I want to do on other social media platforms as well, but kept that very high level. I definitely have other documents where I started detailing that. During any downtime I had during Q1, I was aggressively editing the game testing sessions into short form video clips.
Oh, that's horrifying. I hate when family members would do the avatar thing. I remember I thought I was tripping when Roy showed up as this bobbing cartoon the first time he did that. I'm like, am I am I not seeing this?
That's so funny.
And you could make different reactions to your bot and make it laugh and stuff.
To be fair, I would prefer that to being on camera.
So the game testing sessions I did in small groups to test my product in January, and then in March, I took those 1 to 2 hour video sessions and would rewatch them and cut out clips and edit in subtitles or graphics or anything fun like special effects to try to get people's attention when I do post on social media. So now I have a backlog of dozens of little less than 1 minute video clips that I want to be able to post on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, so that people can see some game highlights from Let's Circle Back. As a side note, there's a really popular video editing app called CapCut that I learned about, and although I think it's really intuitive and really awesome, it did take up so much storage on my phone. It was insane. So I had to delete that off of my phone. So I'm still trying to figure out what editing apps or software I want to use for my short form video content clips moving forward. Something that helped me when it comes to social media and figuring out what platforms to prioritize is that I sent out a survey about the concept of my game, which is workplace team building, to my network. So I sent it out by text to all of my friends that work in consulting, and I also posted on my LinkedIn, and I got 51 responses. And One of the questions in the survey was about what social media platforms do you frequent, and LinkedIn was listed very high, unsurprisingly, since the survey was posted on LinkedIn. And also after that, I think Instagram was the next most popular platform. So that's something very helpful to keep in mind when I need to prioritize between platforms. I also asked questions on my survey that were going to be able to help me develop my messaging moving forward when it was time to launch my product and get it out into the market. So some questions that I asked were about what are people's opinions about team building, since it's a team building game. I also asked what factor would most strongly influence your decision in selecting team building activities for your team. And those options were inclusivity, convenience, connection, and cost. And I honestly thought that inclusivity was gonna win, but in the end it was connection, which really compelled me and made me think that I really need to double down on how the value of my game comes from the ability to foster connection. That was very helpful, very, very helpful to have a survey. I also asked questions in the survey about what factors would influence your decision to purchase a team building game. I also asked some questions about in what kind of setting would you play Let's Circle Back, like in more informal settings or more formal settings. So I asked a lot of very helpful questions that I'm gonna be referring back to when I'm developing my sales page and when I'm developing my my messaging. So circling back to email marketing, there are a lot of email marketing platforms out there, and you can do your research, but the one that I ended up picking was called MailerLite, and it was pretty low pressure in my opinion because it's free for the first 1,000 subscribers that you have on your email list. If you're new to email marketing, like this is not part of your day job, then give yourself some time and patience to set up the platform, because even the early setup, like authenticating your domain, might take some time, and then learning how to develop an email that will be distributed, or email campaigns, like a sequence of emails that can go out at certain trigger points. That all might take some time for you to figure out, because it took me some time too. MailerLite has some video tutorials and articles on their website that were very helpful in getting started. A strategy I learned for your email list is to first develop a landing page or a squeeze page. And this is a page where it takes someone to sign up for your email list, but there'll also be something on that page that tries to give someone an incentive to sign up for your email list. Like in my case, I offer a free download of my office themed murder mystery. So last year I wrote a murder mystery that takes place in a corporate office setting, and I played it both personally with my friends and at my workplace. So I think that this murder mystery would be a wonderful gift for people that'd be interested in team building games like Let's Circle Back. So it was perfect. But if you don't use that, I know other people might give other freebies, like here's a template or here's a quiz. And I set up the landing page and sign up to immediately kickstart an automated email sequence. So once someone signs up with their email, the MailerLite system would automatically send them an email that says, here's your gift, here's your murder mystery. And then the next day I had it send another email to the person that says, hi, I'm the girl that sent you the murder mystery. I'm Shivani. Here's a little bit about me and about the Let's Circle Back brand and what you can expect with Let's Circle Back coming soon. I timed the development of my landing page and email list to align with me sending out my survey about workplace team building to my LinkedIn network. So if someone was interested in what I was doing, filled out my survey, they could also right then and there sign up for my email list too. And my goal has been to send at least one email out to my email list per month. And I think so far I've achieved that, But if you have the time, I think a weekly email would also be really awesome and probably develop more engagement, to be honest. And even if your email list doesn't have a lot of people on it to start, still take it seriously and remember that it's a privilege that this number of people invited you into their mailbox. And what I would say for your email list is try to treat them like VIPs. Send them emails about things that you're not putting on social media. Like I sent an email that was very detailed to my email list with an analysis of my survey results. I also sent them an email with a preview of my logo before I put that anywhere else online. Okay, that was a lot of information, but that brings us to the end of the startup series. So we went over so much, like coming up with a product idea, developing a business plan, doing all of the back end licenses and technical work, game testing sessions, which were really fun, and now lastly, the marketing. My biggest tip is to move the needle every single day and do at least something for your business every single day. Yes, there were very occasional days where I was too busy or too sick to do anything, but I was always doing something every day, whether that was just editing one little video clip or spending half my day working on something. And it's just really important to continue that momentum. I know it's a lot for solopreneurs because it's so many different hats you're wearing. So you're doing great so far, and I commend you for the progress that you're making on this. And I'm learning right alongside you. I really enjoy that I'm learning through this process and this experience, no matter how my game turns out. So let me know if you have any questions or any topics you'd like me to expand upon in future videos. I'm thinking about doing either a series or just a video update for Q2 of the business. And just remember that I'm not a lawyer or a tax professional. I'm just sharing my personal experience, both to document it for myself and for anyone that might also want to see. So stay tuned. You can like, subscribe, and comment if you want to keep in touch and learn more about my business journey as it progresses, and also learn more about Let's Circle Back, my corporate storytelling game and prompt deck. Thanks. Bye.